Calling to order the Monday, October 18th, 2021 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Hayes.
Present.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Newsome.
Present. Item C, approval of minutes. Take a motion to approve the Finance and Purchasing Committee meeting minutes from September 20th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Hayes. Second by-
Motion to sit Alderman Mosio.
I'll second.
Second to seat Alderman Moiseo. I have a motion for the approval of minutes by Alderman Hayes and Florian.
Yes, ma'am.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Are there anyone from the audience wants to speak on anything? Public comment that's on the agenda for finance and purchasing? Being none, item 2, new business. Motion to authorize the proper city officials to waive the competitive bidding requirements and authorize the expenditure of additional funds to Water Products of Aurora, Incorporated, on an as-needed basis for supplies and equipment to be used for bona fide emergency repairs to water mains, hydrants, and water meters per section 2-458, subsection I-2, and an amount not to exceed $60,000. Funds will be charged to line item 555-9155-25-493. The city has already spent $23,000 on supplies from Water Products of Aurora and anticipating exceeding the $25,000 threshold. The water plant is requesting City Council to waive the competitive bidding requirements of the city code and authorize the expenditure of additional funds in the total amount of $60,000 or $37,000 additional on supplies and equipment to be used for emergency repairs only. Take a motion by
So moved.
Alderman Moiseo, second by
I'll second.
Alderman Florian. Are there any questions to this motion?
I have a question.
Yes,
Is-
Alderman Hayes.
Are the funds, is it capped at the end of the year, or is this just indefinite, not necessarily indefinitely, or until the money is spent? I mean, what's kind of the end game for the additional 37,000?
This would be for the end of the fiscal year.
End of the fiscal year? Okay,
And usually they spend about $55,000 per year
okay.
on supplies for equipment, water main breaks and things of that nature, so they've exceeded that $25,000 limit. Instead of coming back for every single thing that they need, say a water main breaks tomorrow, then they would have to get council approval. So this gives the money, but they can only use it if it's in a bona fide emergency.
Okay, and who makes the determination on emergency?
It'll come from the Director of Public Works.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye, motion carried. Item 3, reports and communications, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Sherry. You have all the paperwork, reports in your packets or online, so she's going to go through each one.
Yes. Okay, so the first one we have is the water consumption summary.
Is this over our last month or?
Yes, it's 29,000 gallons over last month.
Okay, and I have a question with the billing. Was there an issue with the billing of water? Because I was contacted by a constituent and said that there had been a problem with the
So-
water billing.
We had a system, and so with that, there was a lot more involved in the background where we had to actually call in our ERP system, Kayenta, to have them basically set up a new format for us in order for us to get people to pay online and have everything talked together.
Oh, okay, so is that working
fixed.
properly now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you move your microphone a little closer? It's kind of hard to hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
So that's working properly now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I have had tons of problems in my ward. I don't know if everyone has it in theirs, but I get complaints all the time. They get the bill on Wednesday and it's due on Friday, and there are people that want to mail their check in. And I had suggested to the mayor, my office is in Park City, and I've had my office there over 20 years, and whoever they use for their water billing, there's never a problem. It's consistently out on time. It's just always on time. It's never a problem. So I had suggested to the mayor and the chief of staff, they look into whoever Park City uses, because whoever they use is much more efficient at doing it than whoever it is we use. So
I think it doesn't have something to do with the system
It's
that
also
we have?
the ordinance, so we're looking to make some changes to the ordinance, so that way it'll give them more time to pay. And they're
Yeah,
not
'cause we-
receiving it on the day when it's due.
We're on a 30-day
We
billing
sell water to
cycle.
Park City.
right?
They
But-
buy our water, and they got a
Right,
better
but-
collection system than we do. That's a little screwed up.
We're on a 30-day billing cycle,
Yeah.
and what it used to be, why there was no problem, is that you were billed every 3 months.
Right.
Quarterly.
But now we're on a 30 days, so as soon as they can get that bill generated, then it's, you have only, 15 days or something like that?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, in my ward, sometimes it's not even 3 days.
Right.
It's crazy how
I've
fast.
had the same issue with people too, Alderman.
Yeah.
People call me and said, I got the bill, it's due tomorrow, or due the next, so there just needs to be a time, the time lapse or something must not be jiving or something like that.
Yeah.
I agree, we need to get that cleaned up, because that's, a lot of people, that's a lot of angst for it. It's usually not a big deal, but you're exactly right, Alderman Florian, we need to clean that up. It's
Right.
just not
I had
efficient.
someone who was out of town, and he came back, and there was a notice on his door his water was going to get turned off. And he was only gone for like 10 days or something, but he happened to miss the cycle of the bill, and he
Now,
was furious.
I do tell people to sign up for the budget, that's what I'm on, and auto pay, that's been pretty seamless, that's been pretty easy. Some
But
people
not
don't-
everybody wants
right.
to do that.
Some people don't want to do that, and I get that, it's your choice, you
Yeah.
can do what you want, but you're right, I think we need to get that. and
If we
share-
could-
It is in the ordinance, there is something, we need to maybe look at that ordinance and maybe,
Because I can understand why we went from the quarterly.
it's better, yeah,
Because
obviously.
if
'cause,
there
I mean,
were problems with someone's water bill, you didn't find out for 3 months.
Every other
you know,
utility
they
bills you
were-
by the month,
Yeah.
all the other
With water.
utilities are monthly, so.
But
we
it's
did-
the cycle, I think, that the heart of the payment system that we're on,
And I-
that getting that, to shoot out that bill in
She's
5
correct.
days.
It's in the ordinance, so I think we might have to look at the ordinance.
Yeah.
Am I right on that? And change the grace period, or whatever I want to call it,
Right.
to make it a little bit more user-friendly.
What I do with mine is, I pay more than what my bill is, so then I have a credit. Like Alderman Kirkwood said, I just pay $50.
Yeah.
And my water bill is only $20-some a month, so.
Jesus,
I
you don't have
to
4
worry.
women in your house, do you?
Oh, my
No.
God, $20 a month?
Right?
It's only my husband and I, so.
I got 4 women, Alderman.
So I used to come down here and pay it, but, now I just have run a credit. But that's something that we talked to the chief of staff about at the last alderman's briefing. So that is something that we're going to be looking at. Thank you.
So next is the business and rental license applications. And I know at the last committee, some of you inquired about if there was like a report to tell you how many businesses you had in your wards. Mm-hmm. So our current system doesn't have anything like that. However, I talked to the building commissioner, and they're actually upgrading their software, and they'll be able to give you that report by ward. Should be up and running in January.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Good.
Then we go to the stabilization fund report, which shows a slight increase of 500 over the prior months. Then we have the special events. If you turn to the last page, it tells you the events that are remaining for the year.
I do have a question. I looked at that, and it said that Zombie Walk was canceled, but I actually went to Zombie Walk, and it wasn't canceled. Is that just an error on
So
there?
it was canceled because it was submitted by Main Street, but it's a city-sponsored event.
So they didn't need to
So
have
they
a
didn't
per-
need the application.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
thank you for
rejected.
that explanation.
Then we have the video gaming report. It's actually down a few thousand from last month. Then the food and beverage and hotel tax, which, just a brief update, we do have our meeting with Avenue Insight on Wednesday.
Okay.
Then the push tax and the BTA report, so just actual report.
You still,
Still in litigation, yes.
yeah.
Any other questions?
Are there any questions to any of the reports?
I have one about the budget to actual. You got to that one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Overall, we're doing great. We're 42% through the year, and we've only spent 35% of what we plan to spend, so that's awesome. We've collected 65% of what we've expected to collect, so that's awesome. But when you dive down a little bit, our fire department, our police department, and our refuse and environmental are all way past 42%. So I'm just curious. I know the mayor had said when the budget came out, she was going to be a stickler about everyone sticking to the budget, but it looks like the fire department and police department are going to be in big trouble soon. Because this is only October, and they both spent 55% of their budget already, so.
That's every year.
I know. I know, overtime, all that jazz. But I am a little concerned about the refuse and environmental. I had reached out to Mr. Schultz about it, but can you explain a little bit, Sherry, why that's at 84% already? I mean, that's twice as much as we planned on spending at this point. Like, do we pay them in advance or something?
So actually what that section is Yeoman Creek.
Oh, okay, and most of that's already, it's a one-time thing and it's
Right.
mostly been paid. Okay, got it. Got it. It rings a bell now. Thank you.
All right, are there any more questions? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn by
So moved.
second.
Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Rivera, to adjourn at 6:03. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.